Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Carelli, and today is October 24th, and I celebrate my father today because he is turning 75 today, so it's a big one. To be honest, I wasn't sure if he'd make it here. He's had, as you guys know, through all my complaints and videos throughout the summer, he has been smoking for a very long time. Luckily, at this new assisted facility place, he apparently isn't smoking. I can tell you this: when I go there, I don't smell any smoke. I don't know who would give him cigarettes, and how that would not get reported if he was getting cigarettes or smoking. So it seems to be serving him well. I mean, he's still in very poor health. He's still on oxygen, will be for the rest of his life. But his health is slightly better. I think his attitude will get better as his health gets better. I can tell you he really doesn't want to be at this place. His first choice, as I've probably mentioned in the past, is Little Sisters of the Poor, which is a Catholic organization which he has given a lot of money to over the years. Even his sister, my aunt, has given a significant amount of money to Little Sisters of the Poor, and unfortunately, that you would think would hopefully open the doors for him, but alas, it did not. So he remains at the other place that he's housed at. It is also, I'm going to say it's on the Catholic spectrum. You know, it's definitely. I don't think it's Catholic. How do I want to put it? Geez, sorry, I can't think of words. I'm up early today, but it's not a charity. I don't think they are funded by the government, so he is not having to pay any type of rent or anything while he's there. It's covered by Medicare or Medicaid, one of those two, and it's a decent place. It's not great, but it's okay. The people are very nice. The tenants are very nice. The employees are very nice, and I know it's not perfect there, and he's definitely letting me know it's not perfect there, but it could be a lot worse. So, but I didn't want to talk. I want to try to talk about the positives of my father for these 10 minutes and wish him a happy birthday. I will go over there today. I won't get to see him because the place is shut down because of COVID, so I can't be in contact with him, but I will bring him a present. I want to show you guys what I made, what I attempted to do. So here's a picture of my dad. This is back like probably about 35 years ago. This is in the late 80s. I'm going to put it really close so you can see it. There it is. It's a little blurry because it's close, but that's my dad with his dog Chauncey, who, geez, it's not a great, I don't know, I thought that would have come in better. Came in very blurry, but I tried to recreate that, and so there it is. I think it came out okay. He came out a little Latino, in my opinion. It almost looks like a migrant worker. It was really hard to get the colors just right. And as you guys know, I'm not an artist in any shape or form. The comedy I do is definitely not art, and that was an attempt. It's not terrible, but it's not perfect. So hopefully he will enjoy it. Hopefully he will understand the effort that went behind it. It wasn't a ton of effort, but it took, I think, 4 or 5 hours to complete. And I just hope he likes it. So I know my father has not had an easy life. Even my mom acknowledges this so I understand him being the way he is in regards to me, in regards to everything, in the way he lives his life and the attitudes he has. I just hope he can find happiness in these last years, or however long he has. I hope he can find happiness. That's what I want for him. That's my birthday gift to him, rather than this hastily done painting and the little picture. He'll probably enjoy the picture that's going to go along with it more than the painting itself, because I think that he has always loved dogs. He's really good with animals, actually, but he loves dogs, and for a while he fostered dogs, which is pretty cool. He had the last dog he fostered a few years ago was a German short-haired pointer, and they're really cool dogs. And then the dog ended up getting adopted by some people out in Kiowa, which is kind of east of Denver. It's out in the plains. It's like farm and cattle country. And he got to visit the dog a couple times. The dog's name was Ruger, which I think is a type of gun. I know a Luger's a type of gun, but he named the dog Ruger, which is very German sounding, perfect for a German short-haired pointer. And he did that with several dogs from like the 5 to 10 year ago range before his health um, wouldn't allow it anymore. So, I want to thank him because there are a lot of things I've learned, for better or for worse, from the man. Like I said, my mom was the first to acknowledge that she saw it firsthand how my grandmother was not very good to him in terms of love. She did support when I was born. My mom was only 19, my dad was only 20. My grandmother supported somewhat financially, was helpful to them. I think we lived in their basement for a while. I may be wrong about that. I'm trying to remember, but knowing my dad and how much I've complained about him over the summer, I'm feeling a little guilty, especially on his birthday, that maybe I've complained too much. And like I said earlier, the best birthday gift I can give him is just to try to be more patient, be as good of a son as I can to him. So that's my vow on this 75th birthday, October 24th, 2021. He was born October 24th, 1946. In case you didn't do the math, he's a baby boomer. October 24th is also oddly United Nations Day, and he has quite a distaste for the United Nations, as his political leanings have leaned more right over the years. But he's an interesting guy. He's definitely not boring, I can tell you that. I remember a lot of things good growing up with him. I remember some crazy stuff too, like we had a neighbor, and this is one of the few memories I have from New York because we moved here when I was 5. But we lived in I believe it was a house divided into apartments. It might have been a true apartment building. I think there were 2 or 3 units in there, and we were on the downstairs unit, and there was a guy, another couple, and I think they may have had a child as well, and I think they were in their 20s, just like my parents were, and they were they seemed to get along. My dad and this guy and my mom and that lady. But I remember vividly seeing this guy cut up his hand really badly with a saw, I think like a jigsaw or something. I don't know what exactly happened. But I remember, when you're a kid, I think the color red can really stand out for you. His memories can be kind of black and white, or at least muted colors. And I remember this guy holding his hand, my dad walking him to I guess my dad's car, and taking him to the hospital to help him out because it was pretty rough looking. And the guy ended up slashing my dad's tires. And my dad found out about it. And to be fair, my dad's kind of a old New York Italian tough guy. I don't think he did anything to him about it, but he was just extremely disappointed. And I can't remember if the tire slashing came before this guy injured his hand or after, but it's just a memory I have of my dad. So, I know I've painted my dad not to be the best guy, but I think my dad did try. I mean, he's definitely not just straight up a bad person. I think life has been rough on him. And at the end here, he just can't really seem to find any joy or happiness, which is really a tragedy. And I also know he's told me a lot of stories about growing up in Queens and the rough upbringing he had, not only in his family but also outside. Just, it was a very Jets and Sharks type of time. That stuff was really happening. West Side Story wasn't written out of nothing. West Side Story was real things happening, growing pains in Queens and New York City itself. People moving in that were of different backgrounds and different ethnicities coming in, specifically in West Side Story, the Puerto Ricans. And my dad literally said, yeah, we had issues with the Puerto Ricans. According to my dad, my grandfather was mugged by a bunch of Puerto Ricans, and then it was like a war. Some of the stories my dad tells me are unbelievable, just as far as he and my uncle throwing M80s at Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans would lowride in their cars slowly through the neighborhood, and my father and uncle would take like packs of M80s and stuff them in the car. And he said it sounded like a war zone in the car. It would go smoldering off and smoke billowing out and Puerto Ricans screaming in Spanish. It sounded crazy and insane and horrific. So knowing he came from that, I know it wasn't always terrible. It was the 50s in New York, and there's probably a lot of good stuff going on too. But knowing my father's background and how rough it was, not like I said, not only within the family and him being kind of the ghost child, but also being in a very rough time in a rough place in New York City, I get it. I get it more than I ever have at this point, and I just want to try to be more empathetic. And like I said, my birthday gift to my father today is this painting, this picture, and my promise to try to do better and be more patient, be more loving with him. That's about it. Thanks, guys. I hope you all have a great day. I hope my father has a great 75th birthday. I will see him in a little while, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.